1998 was a traumatic year for me. I was 9 years old and the Spice Girls broke up. This was also the year my younger brother was hospitalized with a brief illness. I remember feeling so worried as my parents would spend each moment by his side, leaving me and my older brother home alone. It wasn't long before my older brother would take advantage of his new authority. He popped in a video one day, rated XXX and not PG, and told me that there was something he needed to practice with me. My gut instantly told me it wasn't right, and while I wasn't aware enough, I still blamed myself. This planted a seed that would root itself deep within my soul for the next 20 years. There's a small yet significant difference between guilt and shame. Guilt says I did something wrong, whereas shame says there's something wrong with me. And just like that, I would go from being left home alone to being alone in my own home. As I would abandon myself, seeking love and validation externally. Two years after I was raped and abused by my older brother, I would be sexually abused by my cousin. I remember freezing. Asking myself, what was it that would cause this to happen to me again? My own mother would say things to me like, all you'll be good for is laying on your back. Or no man is ever gonna want you. Words that would reinforce my feelings of unworthiness, as the straight A's that I'd bring home as proof of my worth were seemingly not enough. I felt unheard, unloved, and unappreciated. I tried to make sense of why my mother would treat me the way that she did, seeing how the mother-daughter relationships that I would see on TV were not the same. I didn't realize how my traumas would resurface themselves in my life. I condemned myself with every breath, echoing the harsh words of my mother. I got into physically and mentally abusive relationships that I thought matched my worth. I was a certified people pleaser, prioritizing the needs of others before my own. In business, I was overworked and unappreciated in regards to my talent because I didn't see the value in my own talent or time. I spent my life in silence protecting those who should have been protecting me. I was loyal to a fault, but to who was I loyal? My self-worth was restored after I restored myself. In 2018, I closed my business to focus on my healing. I directed my energy back towards myself and gave myself the love that I gave to others, building myself back up. I found value in my own breath by giving myself permission to breathe. It was my duty to unlearn everything that my traumas taught me as I filled myself up with love and affirmations. I made it my point to give myself everything that I had been denied maternally. 2 decades after my initial trauma, I have finally returned to me. Standing before you tonight is a radical act of self-worth. This is me showing up for myself and my purpose, regardless of who approves, regardless of who supports me, regardless of my past. I've hid the saddest stories behind the brightest smiles. If you've ever been too scared to speak your truth, or if you've spoken up and weren't believed, your voice still matters. You're worthy of the truth and you are worthy of living in your truth. You are worthy without proof and you are worthy without approval. 1998 was also the year my good friend Earl released his hit song, Slippin'. You guys know him as DMX, but that's a story for another day. He opens the song with the lines, "To live is to suffer. And to survive is to find meaning in your suffering. Words that will stick with me for life. The journey back to yourself is not easy, nor is it linear. But if you pour into yourself, you will get there. Though I'm not responsible for what happened to me, it was my duty to set me free. Once you return to yourself and restore your self-worth, you too can go from victim to victory.